Hello all, welcome back to Bittersweet Survival. Today's topic is how to create a habit. I decided to wait until got to this video to start a new habit. So the habit that I want to change is my endurance. I love resistance training, but I have a tendency of not really doing much other than that in my daily day to day or weekly. So I decided that I wanted to run 5 kilometers, 5K. In order to do that, I have to get up to a 5K. Right now, I'm very comfortable running a kilometer. Now, that's about as far as I've gotten. When I tried to push myself to 2 kilometers, I wasn't able to do all that well. So this is perfect. I'm starting a new goal, and I'm going to share with you my process. So the first thing is pick one goal, just one goal. Everyone has this tendency of trying to change 3, 4, 10 things all at once. And it's too much. So just pick one thing. And for your very first one, you should always pick something that doesn't require a gym membership or buying a treadmill or some huge big expense that you can't. It's got to be something that you can start tomorrow type of thing. I'm going to start next week. I already have a gym membership that I'm using for resistance training. They have treadmills at my gym. It's the perfect solution. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So what I want to do is explain to you how I'm going to start this process and what I'm going to use to keep myself motivated along the way. What I've learned to do is fall in love with the progress that you make. Okay? That's what you need to do, is look for the progress, because progress, when you practice, makes progress. Progress makes me happy. With enough progress, it can look effortless. A lot of people want to compare themselves to somebody who's been doing whatever it is that they want to do for a decade or so, not taking into consideration it took them a couple years to get up there, and now they've just practiced enough that it looks almost perfect. So how am I going to get myself from running comfortably a 1K to a 5K? That's pretty interesting. So here's my process. First of all, I'm only concentrating on that one thing. And at first, all I'm going to do is figure out how I can comfortably run 2 kilometers. Then I'll get myself up to 5. But I got to start with 2 because right now 2 is a challenge. So this is my measurement. So first of all, I like to go resistance training 3 times a week. So I'm just going to add an extra 10 minutes to my time there, because the first 10 minutes is going to be me running on the treadmill for that 1 to 2 kilometers to start. And then after that, I will be increasing it to 3 kilometers, to 4 kilometers, and then to 5. So what I want to do is I just want to plan next week to go to the gym 3 days. That's all I need to do. I was already planning on going 3 times next week. I just have to show up 10 minutes early or stay 10 minutes late. And I'm putting it into my schedule to make sure that it's blocked off. The thing that most people do is that they say, oh yeah, I'll do it sometime next week, but they don't actually make a plan. The best thing to do is to plan it. Actually put it in your calendar and treat it like you would anything else that you find important. It doesn't have to be in your calendar. I find that the calendar works awesome because I always check what I'm going to do the next day before I go to bed. It helps me to go to sleep and be like, okay, I don't have to be up until this time, and I already know what I'm doing the next day, so there you go. I'm not saying that flexibility doesn't happen, but we're talking about just a standard day-to-day thing. Like, you know what your regular schedule is. So prioritize your goal by scheduling it, and then treat those individual schedules, treat that like you would a meeting at work or going out with your favorite friend or whatever it is you need to do in order to put importance on it. This is a commitment that you're making to yourself, and you need to honor the commitments to yourself just as much as you honor your commitments to someone else. It actually helps everybody along, because the more important you find your own commitments, the easier it is to commit to other people and follow through. Just something that I've noticed since I've been doing this. So, as I said, pick one goal, schedule it, and make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. So what I'm going to do is I already go to the gym. I just got to get that running in before I start or after. I'm going to decide when I get there. I'm going to try both. I'm going to try running before I start, which I think I'm going to end up doing, except for leg day. I might run after leg day. And if there's days when I can't, I already have a plan set in that if I can't run the 2 kilometers, I'm going to run as much of it as I can and then walk the rest. But I'm not getting off that treadmill and I'm not going home until I've done 2 kilometers, because that's this goal. Then once I find that this is going to be easier, then I'm going to increase from 2 kilometers to 3 kilometers to 4 kilometers to 5 kilometers. And then when I get to 5 kilometers, what I want to do is just practice 5 kilometers. See how long does it originally take me to get to 5 kilometers, and then see if I can speed up my running and taper that time down. That's the goal. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's how I'm going to create this goal. Now, of course, do I expect that I'm going to be able to go to the gym 3 times a week for the next 10 years? Of course not. I'm not planning that far ahead. All I'm planning for is next week. If I find next week that I get to the gym twice and I'm able to run twice, then great, wonderful, fabulous. It's my first week. I'm not expecting to be perfect. If I get there and one day I can run a kilometer and the next time I can barely run a kilometer, I'm going to have to make allowances for that. Find out how I'm feeling, that type of thing. It's going to be on a day-to-day basis once I get there. This is just about setting myself up for success. So that's what I'm going to do starting next week. And you guys can help me with my accountability. One of the things you want to do is tell somebody what you're doing so that they can be excited and ask you about it. A lot of times, if you just make a promise to yourself and you break that promise to yourself, nobody knows it but you. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, that's very disappointing. If you commit better to other people than you do to yourself, then you're not doing yourself any justice. Just my opinion. Hope that helps. If you want to leave a comment down below, I would love to find out what kind of goal that you would go for and whether or not you found this helpful. Anyway, have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.